What's up, Creed? This is your Thursday demo video. We're starting off with an AMRAP by 6 minutes. We have 10 scat push-ups, 10 dumbbell ground to overhead, 10 hollow body rocks, 30 single unders. 2 of these moves will be in our first portion for our workout, so we will go over those a little bit more in depth for the warm-up so that we can glaze over them in the actual workout. 10 scat push-ups is what we're starting with. This will be one of the movements we do in our strength portion here. We're trying to really connect to those smaller structural muscles in those shoulders. All right, so just behind the shoulder blade is what we're really looking for, and in front of the shoulder, those 2 muscles there, basically the ones that help retract and protract our muscles in a very small, limited range of motion. When she's doing her scat push-ups here, you should be going slow on the way down, letting that chest sink all the way to the floor, almost. Once those shoulder blades get to the end range position and your arms are locked out straight, you're gonna drive away nice and smoothly and push those shoulders all the way away from the ground as best you can. There shouldn't be any type of shoulder blade pushing out of your spine anymore once you extend all the way to the top. You'll have 10 reps with those scat push-ups, and make sure your hips don't drop when your shoulders drop. All right, man, to show a bad rep real quick, those hips drop as the shoulders drop. We don't want to see a loosey-goosey core here, so your hips should stay nice and high as your shoulders go down to the ground. Think about that upper torso being the only thing that needs to move. After our 10 scat push-ups, we have 10 dumbbell ground to overhead. So we'll grab our dumbbell horizontally by each head. We're gonna slip down that mid-shin, explode up. So Mandy has a great hinge pattern here. She has a flat back as she reaches to the floor, big chest, and she always keeps that dumbbell close to her body on the way up and on the way down. Then we have 10 hollow body rocks. What those will look like will be on the ground. We're gonna think about pushing that belly button into the floor. The shoulder blades come off the ground. The low back is flush with the floor and it's rounded. Try and round that low back as best we can. Maintain that tension, flex the quads if we need to, and we're gonna rock back and forth 10 times. Each time a heel taps the ground, that would be a rep. Then we have 30 single unders or 30 ghost ropes or 30 line hops. All right, so we're basically just trying to train some elasticity in those ankles, hopping on those toes and not letting the heels tap the ground. All right, it's always a good thing to have in our back pocket in life, being able to hop on our toes. All right, our workout, part A, is every 45 seconds for 4 sets. So 3 minutes total. We'll have 10 scat push-ups plus 5 hollow body rocks. So you should be able to get both of those done before 45 seconds is up. It'll give you a little bit of rest time, but you'll go through a full 4 sets trying to build 1, a strong core with those hollow body rocks and good core control, and then 2, sturdy shoulders that also know how to be used in a small range of motion with those smaller muscles versus working those bigger muscles. All right, so practice with that first round. For our second round, 3 sets for quality on a 6-minute cap. So you'll have basically 2 minutes for each of these here. We have 5 and 5 dumbbell bent over row, smooth and steady with those bent over rows, and then 10 Superman pulses. All right, we'll show you what those look like in just a second. So we showed you those scat push-ups and hollow body rocks, so we'll skip down to our 3 sets for quality. That's the big word today for this workout. We're not looking to just do the movements and get them over with and check the box. We're looking to really hone in on the connection that we can make with that muscle, the squeeze, the slow movement pattern, and the focus on form. So our 5 and 5 dumbbell bent over row, we're gonna start with a dumbbell in one hand here. Try and get pretty heavy here, but one weight that we can handle for 5 reps. All right, so we're driving that elbow back and by our side, letting that fist stay pointed to the ground as we pull that dumbbell close by our hip and get a good squeeze in that lat at the top. If you feel your bent over row, getting a good squeeze in your trap muscle, so just beside that neck or the back of your shoulder, then we're probably doing our bent over rows incorrectly and we're not using our big lat muscle in the side of our back. So right here, Mandy's gonna show a bad bent over row. She's pulling that dumbbell directly to her shoulder, which in turn is gonna make her shoulder and her trap work more than her big lat muscle that runs down the entirety of the side of her rib cage. All right, so that's what we're looking for, a big muscle that runs down the side of our body to contract and squeeze as we pull back. After our 5 and 5 dumbbell bent over row, we have 10 Superman pulses. So we'll be down on the ground. We're looking for about a 1 or 2 second hold at the top of every rep. So she'll squeeze her glutes and her hamstrings real tight and then relax for a second and then back up, squeeze, back down for a rest. Back up, squeeze, and down for a rest. And she'll go through 10 reps just like that, focusing on that posterior chain, those back of the shoulders, upper back, mid back, low back, glutes, hamstrings, all that good stuff that runs down the back side of our body, getting nice and tight there, all right? Then we have an every 3 minutes by 5 sets, so we're looking at 15 minutes of work. We have 50 double unders or 150 single unders or you can do 150 line hops or ghost rope instead there. All right, so once you get through with that, you're going directly into 20 dumbbell ground to overheads and finishing with 8 and 8 dumbbell bent over row. Trying to get all 3 of those done in 3 minutes so that you have a little bit of rest time at the end before your next set starts. All right, so 50 double unders, 150 single unders, or 150 line hops. We showed you those in the warm up there, but our 20 dumbbell ground to overheads go a little bit heavier than you probably did in the warm up if you're able to, 5 or 10 pounds more. All right, we're trying to increase a little bit of weight here because we're moving faster, we're nice and warmed up, and we're ready to attack them. Then we have 8 and 8 dumbbell bent over rows, probably, like I said, a little bit heavier with these on the actual workout versus our practice movements in part A. So, go ahead and get after it, Creed, and we'll see you guys later.